Do you have any mental skills, tricks that you use with your athletes to help them deal with situations like that?
I think the long run is probably the place where it crops up the most. One thing in the training I do with adults is we do a long run each week that I try and get them to buy into the idea that that's the most important workout each week. And so if I look, I want to share something about the week before I go back to the long run. Mm-hmm. The other workout in the week would be, usually it falls on Tuesday. Some athletes might have 2 workouts a week on Tuesday and Thursday. Some athletes it's Wednesday. But here's the bottom line.
Yeah, sure.
I keep those workouts short and sweet. So it doesn't mean like they're hard, but they don't last very long. And so even somebody training for the marathon isn't running more than about 75 minutes for that workout. The one, I do like that workout that many of you are familiar with, the Yasso 800s, which is 800s with a 400 jog. That's the one workout that, you have to plan another half hour in your day because it just takes a while to do the 800s and to do those jogs. So I don't see people struggling mentally usually with those workouts in terms of, how do I psych myself up for it? Or what do I do if I'm not feeling well? I mean, they tend to have it dialed in there. I think once they buy into the idea of the long run going well, let's say it's a 15-mile long run, and I'm asking them to, I really like progression long runs. So that's simply a run that gets faster towards the end of the run. So in a progression long run that's 15 miles, if you're advanced, you maybe run 8 miles really easy, then 2 miles where you get a little faster, and then you're trying to maintain a nice strong pace for those last 5 miles. And that's something that what I'm trying to teach is if you get to the 8 mile mark and you don't feel well, then just keep running those next 7 miles. If you get to the 8 mile mark and you speed up for a couple miles and now you're at 10 and you don't feel well, then just run those last 5 miles. If you can execute it the way we've written it, that's obviously the ideal day. But over, and again, we wouldn't do this workout 4 weeks in a row, but just for argument's sake here, probably one long run out of 4. So once a month, the person mentally is just going to feel drained, and it's not going to make sense. And so I think sometimes in training, what if we were to imagine that our coach sent us training on a piece of paper and it was written in pencil? Does that make sense? So
yeah, sure does.
So then you could erase what's in pencil very easily and put in a different workout for that day. Now that's much different than getting an email or looking at some online cool calendar database, whatever it is, because it feels like that workout is set in stone and you have to do it that way. I think when people really take their training to the next level, and I can't comment on the other 2 aspects of triathlon, but I know from the run portion, you can really dig yourself a hole if you try and grind out a long run or grind out a long workout if you're not feeling well. Yeah. And so just understanding, okay, I need to run this by feel. I'm not going to pay attention to the GPS. This is a tangent we could talk about. I'm not a big fan of heart rate monitors, but in this situation, if the heart rate monitor is going crazy and I'm way out of the zone I wanted to be in, let's dial it back and get into that zone that my coach told me to be in. But having basically the first word that comes to mind is courage. That might be too strong a word, but having the courage to say, you know what? I don't feel well today. I'm going to have to dial it back. That means running slower and getting back into an effort level that's appropriate for that day. So I think that takes 2 things. It takes a mature athlete, and then it also takes somebody who just really understands that the purpose of training is not to just grind things out, but to improve your aerobic system. And the way you improve your aerobic system is to definitely train hard enough so that there's a metabolic change going on, but not one that you can't recover from. I think this is where, and again, I don't want to speak out of turn since I'm not a triathlon coach, but this is where I would think that some triathletes get into some trouble is they rock a run workout or a bike workout or have a great swim workout,
right?
But it didn't set them up. It was too hard, and now they're not set up to do the next hard workout.
Yeah. No, I would definitely agree with that. And I think what's really important about that athlete that you say is taking that pencil workout and making a change on the fly based on how they feel. It's important that athlete recognizes that that's a successful workout.
Yes, exactly.
The successful workout is not doing exactly what the coach said. The successful workout,
much more succinctly and better said than I exactly. What is the definition of a successful workout? I think you're exactly right.
Yeah, and it's just so it takes a lot of for some athletes, it takes a lot of reassurance and a lot of time and education and a lot of back and forth feedback between the coach and the athlete. For them to understand that and honestly start to believe that.
Yeah.
And in working with adults, I see the whole spectrum of some people that really want to be told what to do. And if they're not told exactly what to do, they just don't know what to do. For whatever reason, maybe they're busy making decisions all day in their other life. Maybe they've got a law practice, or maybe they're a surgeon and the whole day is busy making decisions and they just want to be told what to do. That's one type of athlete, and that's fine. Another type of athlete is more mature, like you described, and understands their body. Usually they've had more years of experience training, either in college or as a high school athlete, and they feel more comfortable making those changes, but it's because they've been educated and they've gone through a long process of communicating with a coach or a mentor that, this is okay and this is what's best for me.
Yep.